AirTech Mod Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 4, and my thoughts on this episode. This was basically just a filler episode, and that's the one episode. Those are the types of episodes I hate. This episode was okay for what it was. It was just about, a racing competition that Sid nearly loses, and about the group trying to have to save her. And pretty much the ending was obvious. This episode was very predictable, unfortunately. And the episode didn't really add anything to the overall show or the overall story or anything. That's why I kind of hate... that's why I kind of hate these kinds of episodes. Because filler episodes... they add nothing to the main story. They add nothing really to the overall plot. It really annoys me that you waste so much time with these kinds of episodes, especially with Star Wars, with their shows. We get these small episodes that waste our time and don't really do anything. I'm happy they gave Tech an episode. I am. But it was just unsatisfying, and it felt like it was a chore to watch this episode. I have to say, this is pretty much the worst episode of season 2 so far. I mean, it's okay in certain areas, but in other areas it was just very predictable and very boring, unfortunately. So, I mean, should you watch this episode? I probably wouldn't. If you're not missing anything if you missed this episode. So let's just go to spoilers now, because there's not really much I can really else talk about without spoiling the episode. So what I'll give out of 10, I'll give it a 4. I mean, it's not a bad episode, but nothing really happens, and there is so much obvious plot developments and plot twists that were just too obvious for me. I'm sorry. So it's a 4 out of 10 for me. Not a great episode, and definitely a filler episode. So let's go into spoilers now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So the episode starts off with Omega and Wrecker playing Star Wars chess. Omega wins, obviously. And then Sid comes into the room and tells them that she needs the both of them for a mission that she's going on to a planet called Safar Tomb. The reason it's only Wrecker and Tech, because Tech's also there. Apparently Hunter and Fives have gone on a delivering mission with some food or something for Sid. So that's why they're not in this episode. They've got to do something else. So Sid tells them which planet they're going to and why she's going there. They get to the planet by using a transport, not their ship, because Hunter and Fives has got it. When they get to the planet, Tech pretty much sees why Sid wants extra security, because it's pretty much it's pretty much a gangster's planet, basically. It's an illegal racing and illegal activity going on all over the place. But we then find out that she's come to this planet because she has a racer that races in this competition called a Riot Racing competition, whatever. That's what the racing is called, Riot Racing. So pretty much in this racing, it's do whatever you want to win. You can shoot blasters out of other races. You can smash into them. You can use claws. You pretty much do anything to win, basically. So we find out Sid's racer is called Teo, who's voiced by Ben Schwartz, which I'll give him credit. Ben Schwartz, he's a good voice actor. I like him in Sonic, and he is pretty kind of, well, he is okay in this episode. He's kind of funny. Him and Tech bounce off each other with the scenes that they're in. I thought it was fun. It was good. So Sid has put a lot of money on this race for Teo to win. Teo goes for his first race. Well, when he's about to go off for his first race, this Gangster comes up to Sid and tries to get her to make a bet with him on who's going to win the race. Sid obviously says, agrees to the bet, and then the race starts. Competition. The race starts. You see how the races, fight each other. Blasters are used. They have shields on their on their speeders. Was it speeders? Yeah, on their speeders, so they don't get destroyed when they get shot. And it's a pretty dirty race. You then see the gangster. Well, I wouldn't say cheats, but he makes two racers gang up on Teo, so Sid's racer. They take him out of the competition. He crashes and falls to bits, and Speeder is completely not completely destroyed, but is massively damaged. At the end of this race, the gangsters racer wins, and Sid now has to come up with the money to pay this gangster back. Oh, I forgot to mention, in the middle of this race, one of the racers fires a bunch of random blasters at one of the racers at the finish line, and one of those blaster bolts hits a member of the public and kills them. So they won't let the Bad Batch shoot clones, but they will, because apparently that's too violent for kids, but they will show a blaster bolt hitting some random prick in a crowd. Fine. It is pretty ridiculous to me that you will let that slide in a fucking cartoon, but if you have the Bad Batch fight clone troopers, they have to always fire with stun. It's ridiculous, man. I kind of wish we just go back to the fucking stop treating children, not children. Stop treating these shows like, oh fuck it, forget it. I get it. I get that Disney just want to be like, we have to think of the kids. But really, George Lucas made this shit for kids. And the Clone Wars still did kind of adult-centric stuff. Adult themes and, told a story that adults could enjoy as well. When Star Wars used to be for everybody, except now it's for... Anyway, that's a different conversation. It annoys me, okay? It does, okay? It just annoys me. It's just such a simple thing. Just having blaster bolts, having the Bad Batch, not be so stupid just to use... sorry, I'm going on such a tangent, sorry. Anyway, so Sid can't pay the gangster money, or Sid can't pay this gangster the money she owes him, and then he wants to... So the gangster wants to take Sid hostage so he'll get his money back some way, but Omega speaks up for herself, speaks up for Sid and says, double or nothing basically. If we win the next race, you call off the bet and we're square. The gangster agrees, but he takes Sid as a hostage basically, just in case the Bad Batch fail at winning the competition. So Tech rebuilds Teo, and Teo tries to explain to him about the race. Tech learns about the race course. We find out about the unused racetrack because it's under maintenance or something, or there's a massive hole in it. And what annoys me is we all kind of realise as soon as they said this track was unavailable or too dangerous for people to use, you knew they were going to use it. Come on, how obvious do you need to be? We all knew Tech was going to use that shortcut in the middle of this race. We all did know this. Anyway, so Teo is about to get into the speeder, but then he gets hit by another racer and just gets completely destroyed. So Tech volunteers to fly the speeder instead of Teo because he's dead. And as soon as Tech gets to the racetrack, the announcer of the race calls out all these racers' names and their achievements. They get to Tech, And you kind of get this funny scene where the guy says, "Tech, is that all we can say about him?" And that was kind of funny. But race starts. Tech doesn't get off to a great start. He stays at the back for most of the race. Then figures out that he doesn't need weapons in this race. He just needs speed, so he gets rid of his weapons on his speeder, and then races through most of the races. He goes down the damaged track, or the track that you shouldn't go down because it's too dangerous. You know, the obvious thing he was going to do. He gets through that part of the track, manages to get into second place, where the gangsters racer and another racer try to do the same thing they did to Teo in the first race, but Tech manages to avoid that trap. He flies right past the first racer and the second, and the gangsters racer and the other racer crash, and Tech crosses the finish line first. So the gangster agrees. Tech's won. Tech gets a standing ovation from the crowd. They then go to collect Sid, where when they go to get Sid, the gangster warns the Bad Batch that Sid will turn on them if she thinks it's profitable. And for me, this is pretty much something we've all known about Sid, that she's not that trustworthy. But let's be honest, there's going to be an episode where Sid is going to be offered a deal by the Empire or by somebody to turn in the Bad Batch, and you know she's not going to do it. She's just going to, you know, be a good character. So to have this scene was kind of a waste of time in my opinion, because listen, you know she's never going to really betray them, and if she does betray them, you know she's just going to help them in the end anyway. So yeah, that's how the episode ends. It ends with the Bad Batch finding out they shouldn't trust Sid, even though they already don't trust her. And that's it. That's the end of the episode. I'm sorry that I'm not like massively excited about this episode. It is a filler episode. Again, nothing really happened. I know I went on a tangent about the blaster bolt scene, but I'm just saying this. It's like, and I miss when Star Wars used to be for everybody and was just dumbed down. You know, that's what I miss. But that's my tangent over. The episode's a 4 out of 10 for me. I think it's a okay episode, but unfortunately it is a filler episode. And that's the end of my review. If you like this review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think about subscribing. Entertainment World Soldier. Bye.